Great morning, great morning, great morning. You guys come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Come on in. Okay, had to make sure the link worked. Yes, yes. Y'all come on in. Super excited, you guys. Super excited. Come on in. Let me know who's here and where you're tuning in from. Let me know who's here and where you are tuning in from. Hey, hey, great morning, April. How are you? Beautiful. Good to see you. Good to see you. Y'all come on in and share the video. Come on in and share the video. Oh my God, this coffee is so fire. Hey, Kim. Happy holiday to you too. This Labor Day. I'm finna rest. I've been laboring. Oh yeah, I'm finna rest. Rest, I say. Good to see you, gorgeous. Good to see you. Thank you, April, for sharing. Thank you for sharing. I'm not gonna belabor it and I'm not gonna keep you long, but I promise what I give you is finna be a strong word from the Lord. Listen, this morning, first of all, y'all, let me talk for just 2 seconds. Well, maybe more. Let me talk for a minute about that no more sabotage class. Hold on, y'all. Let me tell y'all, when I tell y'all that thing was fire and 2 hours was just not enough. We needed some more time. I might have to do a part two to that bad boy because listen, let me tell you, we got so deep and began to see connections and how things went together. Oh, y'all, it's getting ready to be something that comes out of that. I'm telling y'all, there's going to be a lot that comes out of that. So y'all stay tuned for that part right there. Right. I'm telling you, April said fire, 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 fire emojis, right? Listen, it was fire. And the beautiful thing was, I don't know, y'all, I've done a lot of workshops and classes and stuff like that. And a lot of times you come away and you have a lot of head knowledge. But I'm going to tell y'all, I walked away and I did the class, y'all. So this ought to tell you something. But I walked away with additional applications, deeper understanding, and an ability to clearly see what was going on, not just in other people's lives, but especially in my life. Right. And I'm like, wow, okay. And then trace it back, go back to the root of it. And it just was amazing. Y'all, so if y'all didn't take the class on Sunday, you have another opportunity Tuesday. Tuesday, you can take the class. It's incredible. No more sabotage. You can use Afterpay to pay for the class, so you only pay 1/4 of it. $75 for a single person, $100 VIP, two people for $125, or $175 for 2 VIP tickets. Look, what I know is that thing was fire. And I know that Tuesday's class is going to be fire as well. We still have a few seats left for Tuesday's class. You all want to grab those seats while they're available, because if Sunday was fire, Tuesday going to get on steroids, right? Tuesday's going to get on steroids. Why? I've already done it once. So this Tuesday's getting ready to up a notch, right? So look, this morning, so I went to sleep. I went to sleep kind of early last night. Went to sleep, and God just, I was dreaming. I woke up, got up, went back to bed, went back to sleep, woke up. God just was talking to me. Hey, Mike. Now look, this is what I know. When God talked to me the way that he talked to me this morning, like some stuff getting ready to pop off. So this morning he says to me, I need you to get ready. Okay. He said, you getting ready to get an accelerated increase. He said, my children are getting ready to get an accelerated increase. Those who are ready, those who are prepared, it's going to work in their favor. And I'm like, okay, because y'all know he's been telling me about the get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. It's time to get ready, because what's getting ready to happen is going to happen, and it's going to happen quickly, and it's going to be like, brrr, it's just going to take off. So you got to understand this. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me. If y'all haven't listened to anything that I've said ever before in life, listen to me on this. You got to be ready for God to send you everything that you've asked for. And you got to be prepared to receive it. You got to be ready for God to send you everything that you asked for, and you've got to be prepared to receive it. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what that means. So y'all might not like it and you might not do it, but I'm just going to tell y'all what that means. Yes, April. April said, I'm ready. What that means is, if God sends it and you still sabotaging, you're going to sabotage your promise. If God sends it and you still sabotaging, you're going to sabotage your promise. You're going to view the promise as something other than a promise. You're going to find a problem in the promise. And you're going to end up cutting off your nose to spite your face, as the old folks say, right? You're going to screw yourself. God won't have done it. The enemy won't have done it. You will have done it, because you will have allowed your saboteurs, your self-sabotaging behaviors to get in the way of God's promises. And when they come, they're going to come quickly, and they're going to come strong. So brace yourself. Brace yourself for God releasing into your hands those things that you've been promised. Brace yourself. Good morning, Daddy. How are you, Daddy? My daddy on, y'all. Oh my goodness. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I had changed my name on one of my pages, but for some reason I couldn't change it on the other one. It just wasn't working. It wasn't letting me. I said, okay. So this weekend, I made a point of changing my name to Wiggins on the other page. Yes, April sending you love, Daddy. I made the point of changing my name on the other page. And I had to do it because I got to get in alignment, right? So when your identity shifts and you get a name change, you can't afford to hold on to the old name to make it comfortable for other people. You've got to make the shift into the fullness of your identity. When Jacob wrestled with the angel, and he said, I'm not going to release you until you bless me, right? In that moment, after that happened, his name was changed. He couldn't afford to hold on to Jacob. He had to become Israel. He couldn't afford to hold on to the trickster. He had to become Israel, the promise. Listen, we mess up when we try to hold on to the old when God is trying to give us a new identity. And it's not just in a name, it's in everything about us. When you try to hold on to the old because you just want to hold on to some of the vestiges of what was comfortable to you, but God is trying to do a new thing. When God is trying to do a new thing, let him do the new thing that he desires to do. Why? The blessing is in the new thing. The blessing is in the new thing. The blessing is in the fact that he has chosen you to do this new thing, to be this new creature, to take this new journey, to have these new experiences, and to know new love. Now, does that mean that people who were in your life previously didn't love you? No, but he wants you to love a new love, a new type of love. Some of us have been so conditioned to love that requires us doing. People love us as long as we do. People are there as long as we do. But God is trying to show us that it is not what you do, it's who you be. It's just who you are. Listen, this is not about what you do. This is about who you are, who you be, who you were created to be. We get so work oriented. It's all about our works. We want to earn our way. We want to earn our way to heaven. We want to earn our way to love. We want to earn our way to success. We want to earn our way to wealth. We want to earn. And when I say earn, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying that you don't work towards things, but your identity and your value is not in what you do. It's in who you are. See, this is what I know. When I show up in a person's life, blessing shows up. Favor shows up just because I showed up in their life. Okay? Just because I showed up. Not because of what I do, but just because of my presence. Now, when you add what I do to my presence, that triples the effect, right? So now I've shown up. The favor is shown up. The grace is shown up. The mercy is shown up because of who I be. And then I do what I do, and everything is multiplied exponentially. So now it grows exponentially with what I do. But you got to understand you're valuable in just being. You're valuable in just being. When you do, it just exponentially increases it. Okay? I just need y'all to understand that, because we get so focused on what we do and not the fact that we're valuable just because of our presence. Just our presence. If all I had was my daddy in my life and my daddy didn't do anything, nothing for me, I'm blessed, because that man is blessed. He's blessing. He is just absolutely amazing. If he does nothing, he's amazing. Amazing. A gift. And you got to understand the same is true of you. We are the gift. We are the treasure. And when people don't recognize that you're the gift and you're the treasure, move forward. It's okay. They may not see your value, but it does not mean that you don't have value. So do not ask yourself, what's wrong with me that they don't want me? No, it's not what's wrong with you. And it may not even be what's wrong with them. It may be that God has created it so that you're not their cup of tea. Or it may be that you are their cup of tea, but they're not ready for you. Or it may be that they think they're ready for you, but they're really not ready for you. Whatever that is, you've got to be willing to take the journey and know that the journey is just that, a journey that is specifically designed to get you to a certain place, to get you into the hands of certain people, in the lives and realms of certain people. I'm telling you, all of the things that are currently happening in your life have been placed in your life as a divine setup for what's getting ready to transpire as we prepare to go into the new year, the 25th through the 27th. It's a setup. It is a setup. Let me tell y'all how much of a setup it is, right? Because God knows what he wants to do, right? See, this is a time when we should be preparing for our transition into God's new year, right? This should be a time when we should be preparing for a transition into that. This is a time to get vision, get clear on what it is that we're to do over this next year. You know, what God is saying to us for our lives, for our like, this is a time for that. This is a time for us to really self-reflect. This is a time for us to get rid of the things in our life that don't serve us, get rid of the habits that don't serve us, begin to move differently, operate differently, show up differently, right? And as we do that, we position ourselves for when God releases what it is that he has to release, to be able to not only to receive it, but to contain it, to be able to hold it. Sometimes our capacity is limited because we have holes, right? These holes are things that we've not dealt with, things that we've not addressed, that cause our gifts and our blessings to flow out of them as quickly as they come. That's not what this season is designed to be. It will be that if you do not prepare, but it's not what it's designed to be. It's designed to be that season that turns everything around in your life. That season where you never go back to that place where you're struggling and you have life. That season where you move forward with all the things that God has promised you, and he takes you from glory glory to glory to glory. I know y'all think glory to glory to glory is just a spiritual thing, but it's more than that. When God takes you from glory to glory to glory, it shows up in every area of your life. His desire is that he would accelerate our progression, that he would accelerate our progression. And that means that we've got to pay attention to our transgressions, those things that we do against him. Those things that we do against him. I know y'all are immediately going to go to, oh, she's talking about sin, drinking, smoking, having sex outside of marriage, or committing adultery, or look, y'all gonna go to those things. Let me tell you what I went to, okay? When I say transgression, it's anything that's against what God has told you to do. So if God has given you a purpose and told you to fulfill that purpose and told you what you need to do and you don't do it, that for you is a transgression. Now, that may not be my transgression if I do the exact same thing, right? And when I say do the same thing, like God tells you not to do a particular thing and you do it. Now, it's not one of our typical sins. It's not something that we would normally classify as a sin or a transgression against God. But for you, it becomes a transgression because God told you not to do it. Now, I may do the same thing that he told you not to do, and it's not a transgression for me because he didn't tell me not to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Not only that, but then let's talk purpose. Let's talk purpose. When God tells you, okay, I want you to do this. He tells you he wants you to do it. You refuse to do it. That is a transgression against God. God told you to do something and you just didn't do it. Listen, I need y'all to hear me. We're in a season where God is laying out the roadmap. He's laying out the roadmap and he's giving you signposts. Signposts are those things that let you know how far away you are or when your next turn is coming. Signposts, just like when you're driving on the interstate, there'll be signposts to tell you what's at the next exit or how far until you get to the next gas station or rest area. You know, you have all of these signposts along the way to guide you and direct you. God is giving you signposts. Pay attention to them. That's why I tell you all, you got to pay attention. You got to look because God will be speaking to you. He'll speak to you through numbers, through movies, through music, through billboards, through signs, through names of things, through license plates. He'll speak to you through all of these things that are around us. Why? He is desperately seeking our attention. He desperately wants to get our attention. Desperately wants our attention. He's giving you these signposts to say, hey, look, you're close. Hold on. Just hold on. Just hold on. Don't fall back into an old pattern now. Hold on. Hold on. The promise is close. Don't stop now. See, remember when God made Abraham a promise, the angel told Abraham that he was going to have a son and that he would be the father of many nations and his son would be the vehicle through which that would transpire. And so he goes and he tells Sarah, and Sarah laughs and, you know, she's like, how are we going to do that? You old, I'm old. What are we going to do? Right? And she eventually went on to try to do it her way, because she thought that God was moving too slowly. So she decided that she was going to help him, and it created a lot of problems. Stop trying to help God and do what God said. Stop trying to help God and do what God said. And then wait on him when you need to wait. Move when you need to move, wait when you need to wait, and trust when you need to trust that the process is the process and the process will result in the end result that God has already ordained. Move when you need to move, wait when you need to wait, and trust the process. Trust that the process is the process that's necessary to produce what it is that God promised that you would produce. Trust the process. But in the process, there is the work and the wait. There is the work and the wait. Both of them coexist. They are not at odds with one another. There are some times when you need to work and some times when you got to wait. Now, if you're a worker, you're going to try to work the whole time because you're going to try to work and just make it happen. But listen, this is why I'm telling you this, because God knows if you're a worker, then you'll think you did it. Huh. That's why he makes you wait. If you're a worker, if you find your identity, your peace, your security, your acceptance in working your way to it, then he's going to make you work when you think, he's going to make you wait when you think you should be working, and then work when you think you should be waiting. It's going to be reversed. Why? He's trying to break up that pattern in your mind. He's trying to let you see that your value is not in your work. Your value is in your be. And your be shows up in your wait. Ooh, that's good. Your value is in your be. But sometimes if you're accustomed to working your way to everything, you'll think the value is in your work when the value is in your be that shows up in your weight. So God has had me on this journey, and on this journey, he has had me doing a lot of waiting, right? Now, my desire is to work, right? I'm a worker. Some would say that, I've been a workaholic in my life, and I would absolutely agree. It would be nothing for me to still be at the university at 11, 12 o'clock at night, working on a project, getting some things done, and then driving home an hour away. I need y'all to understand this. Listen, I would literally stay at work till 11 to 12 o'clock, trying to finish things, get some things done, and then drive an hour to go home, only to get up in the morning and drive an hour back and be there all day long, right? Because I had so much I needed to do. I got to get this done. Workaholic. So when my kids would say, oh, we didn't get to see you a lot when we were growing up, they're absolutely correct. I was working. And when I tell y'all I worked, and I always had my job, and I always had my side stuff. So not only did I have a job, but I had the side stuff that I did to help bring in additional money. Listen, I believe in working. Working is not an issue for me. Do you know what's an issue for me? Waiting is an issue for me. I can't control the wait, but I can control the work. See, that's the problem. People who have control issues rooted in childhood, right? There were things that happened in your life that you couldn't control. So you sought to control the things that you could control, and absolutely turns into OCD, right? You everything's got to be done a certain way. It's got to be perfect. You have this perfectionistic tendencies because you believe your value is in your perfection. Your value is in your work. Your value is in these things, right? So literally you struggle with waiting. You can't just sit down and watch a movie because, listen, you're thinking about all the things that you could be doing and you're wasting time. April said waiting is an issue for me too. Absolutely. So check this out. Check this out. If waiting is an issue for you, guess what God is going to require you to do before you can get to your promise? Wait. You got to master the art of waiting. You've already mastered the art of working, right? But you've got to master the art of waiting. Why? Once you master the art of waiting, after you've mastered the art of working, then whether he needs you to work or wait, you can do it. See, we've produced a generation of kids who have mastered the art of waiting, who are waiting on you to do it, waiting on you to fix it, waiting on you to tell them what to do. They've mastered the art of waiting. So guess what they have to master? The art of working. Not that their value is in their work, their value is in their being, but now they've got to master the art of working because they haven't mastered it. They've mastered the wait, but not the work. And you need both of them. Both of them are required to get to destiny. Work and wait. Work and wait. You need both of them. And in this season, because God is bringing accelerated increase, that increase is going to come for some in the wait and for some in the work. That increase is going to come for some in the wait and for some in the work, depending on what it is God is teaching you to master. If God is teaching you to master the wait, your increase is going to come in your wait. If he's teaching you to master the art of work, your increase is going to come in the work. But either way, we're going to both work and wait simultaneously in the same season in order for us to get to the place called destiny. Both are necessary, the work and the wait. Look, there's no quick fix. You can't blink your eyes and you're there. You can't do a bewitched and twinkle your nose and you're on the other side of it. You can't. You simply have to go through it, whether you're going through it and waiting or you're going through it and working. But you're going to have to do both at some time during the journey. My prayer is that you'll be able to discern the time when you're supposed to work and the time when you're supposed to wait. That you won't wait too long and you won't work too little. or you won't try to work in your wait and wait in your work. That you'll be able to discern, what am I supposed to be doing right now? I'm in an interesting season. I'm in an interesting season. And I say it's interesting for several reasons, right? I'm waiting, but I'm working. But the work is not the work that I would typically do. The work is the work on me. So I'm waiting, but I'm working on me. You see, if I don't work on me, I won't have the capacity to hold what he's getting ready to release to me. So in order for me to get what he wants to release to me, I must work on me while I wait on God. I must work on me while I wait on God. You understand? There are things that God has given me to work on, to work to destroy, to work to kill, that will kill what he wants to give me if I don't kill it. And that's kind of the mentality that we've got to have when it comes to working on ourselves. And understand, listen, because I'm going to tell y'all the next challenge, right? So if you're a worker, right, you'll be working on yourself. And then when you don't master what you want to master or need to master quick enough, fast enough, the way you think you should, you're supposed to be able to get it, then you'll begin to beat yourself up. That judge will kick in and say, see, you can't do nothing right. You understand? So you got to understand that this is a season, and I've been telling y'all this and telling y'all this. And if I'm lying, y'all tell me I'm lying, okay? I've been telling y'all that this is a season to master the art of giving grace, both to others and yourself. You got to give others grace, and you've got to give yourself grace. Grace to go through your process, grace to learn what you need to learn, grace to be who you just need to be when you need to be. And even if your being means that you're not looking like you're doing any work, just be. And that's a difficult one for me. That's difficult for me. Hey, Mardan, how are you, gorgeous? So we're in a place that is a strange place. It almost seems like an oxymoron, or two things that don't go together, right? It's working and it's waiting. But we have the promise of accelerated increase from God. God said, I'm giving you accelerated increase, but I need you to prepare. Now, that preparation may be working, it may be waiting, it may be some combination of the two. But in the season, you will have had to do both. You're going to have to master the work and the wait. You got to master both of them, but they are not your identity. Your identity is who God created you to be, and that's where your true value lies. I know you guys have seen the thing where they take a piece of money and they crumble it up and they stomp it on the ground and they, kick it around and all of that. And they ask, do you still want it? What is its value? The value is the same as the value it had before it was crumbled up and put on the ground and stomped and all that. It still had the same value. Listen, this is what I need you to understand for real about you. You have the same value from the moment that God allowed your conception in your mother's womb to now, after life has beaten you up, kicked you around, thrown you down, you've been stomped on and all that, and you still have that same value that God placed in you. And your value is not in your education, your degrees, your job, how many cars, your house, all of those things. Those things don't determine your value. What determines your value is that God created you, period. That is your value. That is your value. When you understand that, you will stop allowing the things that have happened to you in your life to dictate how valuable you feel like you are. Instead, you'll know your value. And when you know your value, you will not allow anyone else to discount you, to make you feel less than valuable. I'm going to tell y'all something listen, just a moment of transparency. There are times when I will discount my value and the value that I provide in others' lives, right? Whether it be in business, the school, relationship, I'll discount my value because I will become so focused on my flaws that I can't see clearly that value. Okay. Because I have operated in the past from a place of I have to constantly work in order to be valued. My value tended to be associated with something external to me, not just my inherent being, but something that I did or didn't do. Right. So my value was associated with external things and not just who I am. So what happens with that is you do a lot of working. Thus, I became a workaholic. You become high achiever. Thus, listen, the first is the first, that the first, right? I'm always winning. All I do is win, right? Because I'm going to work for that win. I'm going to fight for that win. I'm going to do the work. I'm going to make it happen. Like I'm going to do it, right? But it also created some other things. There were other things that became a byproduct of it. See, this is why you got to really understand what your saboteurs are. What are the self-sabotaging behaviors that you engage in? Because once you understand it, you'll see the connection between them all. Like they're connected. Like we began to map things out and we began to look at it and be like, I see what. Okay, yep. There are certain things that we tend to do, right? We tend to do them because they are meeting a need. They're providing an answer to a particular motivation that we may have. How it is expressed may vary, but that underlying motivation is very key, right? So we're working to make sure that underlying motivation shows up. But then I had to realize something, and this has been a recent revelation, right? The judge in our mind, always wants to make us feel like we're not good enough. It doesn't help that people often say the things that we already feel, right? And then we're pissed that they would say the things, but we feel them and we say them to ourselves, but we don't want anybody else to say them to us because we feel like that's being mean. When really what we're doing is we're drawing people into our lives who will tell us what we say to ourselves. Is that crazy? Yeah. But that's what we do. We draw people into our lives, will tell us and say the very things that we say to ourselves, or I should say that our judge says to us, right? So we draw those people into our life, and they often reflect and represent people in our life, and they say and do things that people in our life that we have unresolved issues with did. So as I'm taking this journey, let me tell you what I'm noticing. And I'm just talking about me. This is a moment of transparency. What I'm noticing is I will have a tendency to underestimate the value of what I have and do provide in people's life with my presence as well as my work, and overestimate the role that my flaws play. Not that I don't have areas of challenge. I definitely do. But I will overestimate people's observance and focus on that as opposed to the value that I bring. People who are really close to me, there's certain things that they know about me, at least the me of the past, right? So they would know I'm probably gonna be late, so they wouldn't freak out about it. But if you freak out about it, you have a right to freak out about it, because if that's your thing, that's your focus, that's fine. Listen, I respect that. But what I'm gonna tell you is you're gonna be real frustrated with me, right? So they would just be frustrated with me. I'm like, listen, I'm a lot of things, okay? But I don't tend to be on time. Now, listen, I'm gonna tell you up front, I don't tend to be on time, okay? And people can say, well, you just need to change it. Listen, but when I tell you that I literally had things happening in my mind that I like one more thing would happen. And I'd be like, oh, I can get this done before I go. Or somebody calls me and I'm trying to help them. And so then it throws my schedule off. So now I'm late. Listen, whatever the reason, those are things that I have to do. Being late is a symptom. It's not the problem. Being late is a symptom. It's not the problem. So in order to fix it, I can't just deal with the symptom, because the symptom is just a symptom and another symptom will pop up. Okay. You got to get to the root of it. Get to the root of it. You got to get rooted in it. See what's going on. Why really is that happening? Well, guess what? I've discovered, as I've done the, looked at self-sabotage and the saboteurs, I discovered that one of the reasons that I'm late is that I tend to focus on pleasing people. Now that seems strange, right? So if I focus on pleasing people, why would I be late? Because I focus on pleasing people, but I'm also a hyperachiever. So I'm trying to do as much as I can do and maximize every moment of my time. And I overestimate my ability to get things done. And I'll say I'll get something done earlier because I'm a hyperachiever, right? And I'm used to doing that, right? I'm used to pushing myself and setting sometimes unrealistic expectations of myself because I'm me and I'm magic. That's what I do, right? Instead of giving myself the time that I need, or I'll procrastinate on doing something and be doing something that I need to do that I procrastinated on, which interferes with my ability to get to where I need to get to on time. All of it is rooted in these saboteurs. All of it is rooted in these saboteurs. All of it. So in order to change the external behaviors, yes, I can just try to change the external behaviors, but that may be short-lived. It might not be a permanent change. It might be a change for a minute, and then you fall back into those old patterns because you still haven't dealt with the root. Get to the root. Get to the root. When you get to the root of a thing, then you can deal with the root, and then everything else will fall into place. Y'all, I simply got tired of putting band-aids on. I got tired of putting band-aids on everything. Everything can't just be band-aids. If my outside reflected the band-aids that I've put on the things that have transpired in my life, the issues, the challenges, I would be walking around here and they wouldn't be saying, hey, Kool-Aid. They'd be saying, hey, Band-Aid. No. Not only no more sabotage, no more band-aids. No, let's go on and do the surgery. Because if we can do the surgery and cut out the thing that is causing all of these symptoms that look like they're the problem, then we can have the surgery, go through the hurt, do the work of recovery, and then those symptoms that you thought were the problem go away. When I ate the crushed ice all the time, y'all know they say that when you eat ice or you eat dirt or you eat starch, when you cornstarch, when you eat those things, it's an indication that there is a mineral deficiency. There's something deficient in your body. Your body is trying to get it through those things. Your body knows that it needs it, right? And it's trying to find it. And so it's looking for it in those things, but those things are not healthy ways to get those nutrients, okay? So you couldn't tell me I was going to not eat crushed ice because I lived on that crushed ice, that good ice, that soft ice, that Wawa ice, that hospital ice, that Sonic ice. Y'all know that ice I'm talking about. That ice that, it just melts in your mouth and not in your hand. That ice. Like, I lived on it. And I remember trying to fast it one time when we were doing the 21-day fast. Baby, I made it one day, if that. I said, no, God, I'm going to have to do something else. So I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to have to be something else because I can't do this. I can't do this. Now I don't even eat the ice. What happened? Somewhere along the line, my body got what it needed. And once it got what I needed, the thing that people thought was the problem, which was only a symptom, ceased to show up. I ceased to desire it because it was not the problem. It was the symptom. If you're tired of spending your life putting band-aids on the problems or on the symptoms, right? Because they're not really the problem. And you're ready to get to the root. Get to the root. Get to the root of it. Get to the root of your life. Get to the root of, you got to get to the root. If you're ready to get to the root, then a great place to start is this class. Because what it will do is it will show you some stuff. And it's uncanny. I'm telling you, the people who have done the class, who did the class last night, they will tell you it's deep. Like, you get your results and people were like, whoa. Oh, they hit the whoa. Because it lays it out. It's undeniable. You see it. You like, Dog, I do that. April said the class was real. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. And then let me tell you what makes it realer. The way God allowed me to see his word at work in that process and in the system. See, I'm a firm believer that when God provides us with different tools, they have a purpose, but it's all going to go back to his word. Baby, all of it went back to his word. Even the fact of what we're doing went back to his word. So yesterday I preached Jeremiah 30, and like it was crazy. Like God is literally showing us how these saboteurs are our giants. They're our giants. They're the Egyptians that's on our back that we feel like we can't get away from. And yet his desire is to wipe them out. His desire is to give you what you need to kill them, to destroy them. I can't think of a better analogy than the analogy of David and Goliath, because David didn't think that he could, deal with this. This thing is huge. Like this man, huge, honey. He doesn't have the armor that the soldiers have on, and he doesn't have the war experience that they have. But what he did have was a slingshot and 5 smooth stones that he picked up. That's what he had, and that's what he used. He used what he had. And what he had was enough. And what I'm telling you is what you have is enough for you to apply to this knowledge and begin to destroy those things that have been seeking to destroy you, seeking to prevent you from getting to that next place in God, that next place in your destiny, in your relationships, keeping you from your next. Because every time you get close to your next, they rear their ugly heads and they screw it up. When you can do that, you know how to do that. When you're desperate enough to do it, when you want it so badly, you'll do anything that you need to do it. Y'all, I'm telling you, you're ready. Like you're ready, and you'll get the change that you desire because you'll do the work necessary. And this will give you some tools to be able to identify, to start to address, to go on a journey. And we're literally going on a 21-day journey. It's going to be probably a little more than 21 days, but a 21-day journey to kill our saboteurs, to increase our PQ, our positive intelligence quotient, to increase how our brain works for us and not against us, to begin to destroy those things that were implanted by the enemy to destroy us. This is why childhood trauma is so important. The enemy uses trauma in childhood to keep people from their destiny. He knows that the most vulnerable time in a person's life is when they're a child, because they don't have control over a lot of things. So he begins to implant these saboteurs and use them, presents them as survival tools. And they are survival tools at that time. They help you to survive. They help you to get through difficult stuff. They help you to make sense of a world that doesn't make sense to you. But then when you become grown, they no longer are working for you. They work against you. You've got to come out of your survival mind so that you can thrive. And you can't beat it. So know this. This is the season where God is giving accelerated increase. But you need to prepare for it, or it's going to be too much for you. You need to prepare for it, or it's going to be too much for you. Listen, go register for the class. The class is tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. It's going to be amazing and incredible. I already know you have homework. You need to register as soon as possible because the spaces are limited, and you have homework to do, and you need to be able to do your homework and get it to me. Listen, go to https://bit.ly/no-more-sabotage, or go to the link in the description at the top of this post and click that, and you should be able to get to it. I'm gonna tell you what I know for sure and for certain. If you do this work, you're going to come out on the other side victorious. You just got to do the work. You got to get the knowledge and do the work. Okay, that's what's required of you. You have everything inside of you to assist you with it. So we're going to assist each other and holding one another accountable and providing support, because you need support, because it feels overwhelming. Like, to the average person just looking at it, feels absolutely overwhelming and like you'll never get there. It's not the truth. You can get there. You most definitely can get there. And it doesn't have to take a long time for you to do it, right? For you to see that increase, for you to see those changes in your life. 21 days. Let's do it. Let's get it. Right? The class is $75 for an individual, $100 if you want to do the VIP, which gives you a 1-hour individual session where we can go deeper into your stuff. And for 2 people, $125 for 2 people. And if you do the 2 people VIP, it's $175. Y'all, all I'm gonna tell y'all is this, baby. It's the truth. It's the truth. God, when he brought this to me, like, he added another one of the missing pieces to the puzzle that he's been putting together for me. And it has been an entire puzzle. So y'all get ready for that coaching program. That coaching program right there about to be beast mode. Okay. So I want you to know that it's time to get to the root so that you can get rooted. Get to the root so that you can get rooted. Rooted in your destiny, rooted in your purpose, rooted in your identity, so that you'll know who you are, from whence you came. You'll know what's yours and what's not yours. You'll know what didn't start with you, but it's in your life, showing up, messing up, wreaking havoc, right? You'll know those things that your body is keeping score of, that it won't let you let go of. And you'll learn how to release those things, right? Everything that has happened in your life has happened for a reason. And it was for you to be able to overcome them so that you might be the example, so that you could be the example to someone else and help them get on the other side. I pray this word blessed you. I pray that you got something that you needed. I pray that you understand that not only is it about the word accelerated increase, which God is going to do, but it's also about the preparation so that you have the capacity to hold the increase that's coming. Increase without capacity flows through you. Increase with capacity fills you. Let's fill it up. Fill me up till I overflow. I want to flow over. Listen, I'm ready for that overflow. So if you've been unable to achieve overflow, maybe there are some holes that need to be filled. And this is going to sound real bold. It's going to sound real bold. It's going to sound arrogant. It's going to sound all of that. But it's the truth. This is the answer. Identifying your saboteurs and killing them so they no longer wreak havoc in your life. Listen, you guys, if you were blessed and you just want to be a blessing to me, you can also do that. You can go to Cash App, $DRV Walters, Cash App, $DRV Walters, or PayPal.me/DRV Walters. I would rather you stretch and do the class so that you can get the benefit of this experience and this knowledge. That would be my preference, but you can do what you choose. Listen, I love you guys to life, and life more abundant. Have an absolutely amazing, incredible, and epic day. I'm about to go in these 101s. We about to get it in. Love you guys. Be blessed. Mwah.